love, never, never, never gonna lose the fight. Won't turn back now.
Glastonbury felt like, well, I was judging it a bit, they seem to be taking a lot of drugs, there seems to be this fake spirituality. Then I came here and then I had to get over some of my fears. Glastonbury teaches you a lot. When I was 16, I've got a picture of Glastonbury Festival, my t-shirt on. There was always some kind of calling to it.
Funny Universe Podcast. Funny and tragic stories and their spiritual life lessons.
Hello and welcome to Funny Universe Podcast with me, Healing Hoai-Linh. And today we have...
Riki Buckingham.
Hi Riki.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming to the couch.
Oh, thank you.
So what's with you? I wanted to ask you, I see you a lot vibing in Glastonbury. You're always jamming to music, doing lots of events.
Yeah.
But what actually brought you to Glastonbury in the first place?
So I was in a 12-year relationship, on and off. I'd come home and then we'd go off again. We'd go in the winter, we'd go to Crete, to Canary Islands, to different places that were very warm in the winter. So I had a really great relationship and a lot of healing. And I found, for me, Glastonbury felt like, well, I was judging it a bit, they seem to be taking a lot of drugs, there seems to be this fake spirituality. It wasn't the best. There's elements of that in Glastonbury, right? But one day I was like, no, come on, let's go and see what it's about. Because I did know it from when I was a kid, and there's a picture of me from 16 years old with my sisters holding hands up at the tour.
Yeah.
So that's really amazing. So I must have always felt a call. When I was 16, I've got a picture of Glastonbury Festival, my t-shirt on with that. So there was always some kind of calling to it. But I think that kind of put me off that feeling, is it sort of like, there's a lot of drugs going on. And I've been really clearing my system out and just really eating really well. And I kind of didn't want to get mixed up in the street vibe here,
That's good, yeah.
But that's it's all right, it's an aspect of what's here, But then I came here and then I had to get over some of my fears, and things. And Glastonbury teaches you a lot. So I came here first wild camping, so it was a real doing the typical barefoot thing, and being and meeting a lot of people and getting over my social kind of found social things difficult. So to come to Glastonbury is a great thing to do if you want to be alternative. You're struggling with the modern world. So it's just, I don't know, somehow, and I did integrate, and then I kept coming back because, as you know, Glastonbury kind of pulls you back. So yeah.
Well, I love your voice because your voice is very soulful. It's kind of like funk, soul. How would you describe the genre that you sing?
Yeah, funk, soul, blues, and there's a bit of a jazziness. So I like a lot of different styles, as you can imagine. And I grew up with that kind of element on my mum's side, and then my dad liked rock and Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple and Pink Floyd and all that kind of thing. So there's how do I meld those two things together has been my question, and then the spiritual music as well, because there's a deep spiritual element as well in the music, and there's almost a tribal element, but then there's a spiritual one as well. So it's trying to integrate all these things in one. And being a typical Gemini, my head can be all over and I like this. But it's like, come on.
You've got some CDs here, haven't you? Some show you some of the CDs. Yeah. So tell me some of how you arrived at some of this music that you've written.
Okay. The 12-year relationship ended. I went for this cycle ride down through France and Spain, and I started working on these songs. These songs appeared, and just being with the land a lot, inspired me. And I would go from town to town in Spain and France and that. And somehow, some of the songs are older, but some of them were born in that kind of time of being out there and inspired by nature. So as you can see, the pictures are very sort of inspired by the natural world. There's a few years of doing open mics and getting out there, and I was never really a songwriter, that's the thing. And I wanted to write songs because I felt like I can jam, I can improvise, I'm really good at having the feeling, the emotional content, but I was like, my lyrics aren't really. So I decided to go back home, turn my old bedroom into a studio. I'd have this covered in soundproofing, like bedding and everything. So it sounded really clear and professional, and I just started recording the album. It took like 3 years to get the frigging 3 albums done.
Yeah.
But we got there in the end. So yeah, and I was like really excited by the time I actually got them on CD, you know, and paid. I mean, it's not much money, you know, to get 100 CDs done. So it's really exciting. So it makes you feel good that you've, you know, because completing things is it's easy to complete stuff sometimes when you're pushed by a boss, right? But when you're doing your own business, as you know, you've really got to be on it, and you've got to be, you know, you've got to keep because our energy can get pulled in so many different things that's not really what I should be doing. I should be doing this, you know. So I had to keep going back to it. Come on, we're going to complete this. There's many layers. There's drums, bass, guitar, backing vocals, you know. So
do you have any advice for other people recording music, where to go and how to get it printed, and
well,
from your own learning, you know, any advice?
Yeah, because as I say, I go into things quite a bit, so I go into depth with things. So for the CDs, I was looking at all the different companies online, and it was Alpha duplication, they're called. Alpha, like, you know, Alpha means kind of beginning, doesn't it? And they are the only ones that actually still do proper CD. It's complicated, but there's CDRs, and then there's actual proper replication, that's it. A replication of a CD is different because you print on the top of the CD rather than shine a laser underneath. And
how would a normal person know the difference between one that's been lasered and
well, yeah, good point.
I
think it's to do with the top, you know, because people print on CDs, don't they? They print on the top, but the top cover is usually either silver or multicoloured, and I think it's the multicoloured one that's I think it's the multicoloured one that's the better.
Okay.
Apparently, there's not much difference in the quality, but they last longer. So
I see. Okay.
Who knows, right? But I like to do it properly, and we did it, and then we got it finished. And then, recording, I would say, you know, just, I don't know, I've actually got a couple of second-hand items, and I checked them out, and I was like, oh, this one sounds good, but this sounds really, and even my partner at the time said, your recordings with this sound really clear. You should do a £3,000 interface. I was like, oh my God. But it paid off, you know.
So if people wanted to come and see you and listen to your music and feel the soul, blues, funk, where can they go to watch you? Okay,
I'm often doing gigs in Glastonbury here. It's easy to do, just on my doorstep. So I play in the local pubs around, and then the Magdalene Chapel I've been hiring out because it's nice and small, even though you only get 20, 30 people in there. It's an intimate experience, and it feels... The acoustics are just to die for, to live for. So that's really good. I've had a few gigs further abroad, but I have this kind of inner frustration or inner drive, let's say, right, to do more and to be playing to bigger audiences. And I've gone on a whole journey with that, you know, where is that coming from? Is it, you know, I mean, it's okay to want to do music from your ego because people want to, you know, feel successful, right? But I was like, no, there's a mission here, you know, there's something that's driving me, and no matter all the setbacks and all the difficulties, and it feels like sometimes you're like, oh my God, you know, this is just setbacks, you know. But I'm determined, and you know, I want to play the big audiences because it's a symbiotic relationship, you and the audience. There's a flow, and it makes you come alive, and it makes the audience come alive.
So if people really wanted to know the latest update on all your gigs, they can go to the link that I'll put on to this podcast, and they can see the latest updates in terms of where your events and where to go see you. Yes. Perfect. That's brilliant. Yeah, and you can subscribe, etc. There's a couple of free downloads on there, and you can see in my blog posts will show up new materials. So amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Visit Glastonbury, the heart chakra of the world, where you can be your authentic self at healthfreedom.uk.